Good afternoon, everyone. Just waiting on a few more moments, as Liam has just mentioned. Looking forward to everyone participating as well. What I'm going to ask you to do as well is actually see if you can make a copy of the documentation that I've got, which is the participant handout. As I said, we're going to be having more hands-on on this session. You've asked for it, so now I'm giving it to you. So firstly, let's have a look here. We've got, you should all be able to access this. It's going to prompt you to make a copy. And please use the chat. I like interactivity. You will find that in my sessions as well. If you go to the previous session, you'd find that, and a lot of that interactivity. I'm going to ask Liam to get you to turn the cameras on in a little while as well, so we can have that. I need to actually find out where you currently sit with your prompting, and just a bit of a hands up. Can they give their hands up who attended the last session? I can see Ken attended the last session. I recognise his name. Anyone else? Okay. What you should have done as well, if you haven't done so already, is to actually have the iceberg, the AI iceberg, and the executive AI prompting tool. So if you were not able to download that, Liam, are you able to put the links from the previous files? And they look like this.
Yep. Shall I do some introductions here, Jennifer?
Yeah, I'm just going to go through just to make sure that everyone knows. Okay, so I'll pass it over to you now, Andy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. For those, if this is your first session, we're very, I suppose, privileged to have Jennifer join us for a second session today. First session, which was in March, was about using digital strategy in AI. And I think during that session, there was so much interaction. There was so much fantastic engagement. There was lots of comments put in the chat. And I think I suppose the expression was, it like blew people's minds on taking it from a simple tool to using it for strategic thinking. So the feedback was, can we please do another session? So hence you're being invited today. And for those who don't know anything about Jennifer, her company is IT Solutionists, but she has over 25 years experience working in schools, transforming technology, operations, digital. And I think I've known you for about 5 or 6 years personally, haven't I, Jennifer? All
yes,
right.
you have.
So today it's building on that. So be prepared to, I suppose, think about things about how AI is going to be used, and then get involved. And if there are any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. We might not be able to answer those questions right now, but we'll be able to answer them during the session. So actually, over to you now, Jennifer. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Andy, and also revealing what my age could potentially be at this point. I'd also like to say there's no question that is a dumb question, or don't feel a way in actually asking a question. I'm here to help, and Andy is here to help as well, and Liam is here to help. This is an open session, and I want you to come away with it feeling much more confident using AI as a prompting tool as well. So let me start and kick off with this session. As I said, you should already have downloaded the link. It should prompt you to have a copy within your actual browser itself, because we're going to be using that. This is a hands-on session that we've got. So let me start off first of all. Now, these slides will be shared with you tomorrow. Liam will be sending out the relevant links as well. So don't worry if you think, oh my gosh, I need to actually get this. You will have it. So just going back to that, this is AI for Executive. We're moving on from the first session. We're now going to the prompting edge. Okay, we're moving from understanding AI. Again, we had the brief introduction to using it strategically as well with strategic precision. Bit about me as well for those that don't know me. As Andy said, I'm the founder of IT Solutionist, digital transformation consultant, AI and governance advisor. I do board level technology strategy, former senior leader in education and IT, worked in Egypt, worked at the famous Brit School as well, and now currently global strategist for ClassLink as well, which is a US based edtech company as well. If you want to find out more about me, please, you can scan this to connect with me on LinkedIn. And I'd appreciate any feedback as well from the session on LinkedIn. So where we left off previously. So session 1, we established the mindset, and session 2 is going to actually build on the skills. So we're looking at the myth versus reality. Remember, AI is not just an efficiency tool as well. It's using it as a strategic thinking companion, and that actually brings the value. And you're going to see how that's done as well from this. The quality of the thinking as well. AI can actually reflect your thinking. It shouldn't be a substitute for your thinking. It can be helped. It can be used to help you to have better questions and better outputs as well. And we're going to go from command to actually having it as a partnership. Those that attended my previous session would actually remember the case study, and I'll revisit the case study that I had with a very close friend of mine who's an acupuncturist, non-technical, doesn't like it, but actually uses AI as a thinking companion as well. Going from one sentence, which you can use in a search engine, to actually produce it, which actually produces generic output. I'm going to show you how you can actually have role assignment. You're going to have a go at doing this. This is what we covered the last time, the implementation plan. We had a 30-day implementation plan, and within that time you were meant to go away, those that had downloaded the session, have some strategic testing as well, select one strategic decision to stress test AI using thinking companion prompts, and that's going on and using the AI iceberg and the executive AI thinking prompt. Let me just show you that very quickly. So you should have access to this, and I can go through this in more detail. You will have this, and you can actually type in your industry, your current strategic priority, and this doesn't need to be AI related at all. And the model that you're using, I've got ChatGPT, I've got Claude and Notebook LM. Those are my 3 favorite ones at the moment. And then it will generate your session primer, which you can then basically copy and paste. I'll just show you that very quickly. And put healthcare. And then I can actually copy this, and it would become that thinking primer for you, and that companion. Sorry, thinking companion. Sorry. So let's go through this now. We are over at other slide. So you should have done that at this point. And the key takeaways from the last session is looking at strategy as well. AI is not the strategy. Again, it's the thinking companion. It shouldn't replace it. Everyone seems to have this perception when you talk to them, oh my gosh, AI is going to replace our jobs. It's not. At this point, it's how you use it. And it's the mindset, move from tool to partner, the behavior change in order to have that amongst the organization, and that goes to your leadership culture as well, and that determines the organizational culture. So let's move on now to prompting as well. What is a prompt really? Okay, when we're looking at prompting, what I'd like to know as well, who uses AI at the moment as a search query? Do you type the keywords? Do you get the results that might be on Google itself? It might be on Safari. Who uses it as a command as well? Do you give it instructions? Do you get a response in one direction? That's a tool mindset. And then do you give it do you set it a role, context, define a goal? And do you get a thinking partner? So that means that it will become a companion mindset. So I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes now to just add that into the chat, what you currently use it for, please. So just go to the chat. Is the chat enabled, Liam?
Yeah, the chat is enabled. I'm happy to turn people's mics and cameras on if you'd rather talk to people if people want to put their hands up.
Yes, please. That'd be great.
While people are putting this in, Jennifer, I've noticed now, obviously a lot of people might have, that now when you seem to like in the past where you put things in Google, automatically the response starts off with like AI, doesn't it? It seems to, AI is now being linked into an awful lot of content that we're using, and I suppose without us even thinking about it. But it's making sure, as you've said, that it doesn't replace and we don't take that information as being 100% right.
That's correct, because I mean, just the other day I was using Claude and it gave me some quotes about a country, and I was like, well, where's the actual link to this? And they said, oh, I'm really sorry, I've made a mistake. I'm hallucinating, which happens quite a lot, it seems. So you need to be really careful with the information that you receive and what you're using it for as well. Okay, so we've got searching, checking, complete in minutes. Small sense. So it's really on that, using it as, you're not using it so much as a thinking companion at this point. And we're going to get there. Tool to generate resources, look at the skills progression documents and for lesson plans. Okay. Check-in reports. Yep. Right. Generate letters. Okay. So hopefully by the end of this session, you're going to go away and think, okay, how am I going to actually delve further into using AI? Generate PowerPoints, help creativity, lesson planning. Okay, right, so let's move forward with this. That's great. As you can see at the bottom, the shift from command to brief is where the executive value begins, and you're getting the most out of AI itself. So last time I gave you a 5S prompting framework from AI in Education, which is a US company where I've actually undertaken a trainer course as well, and I think their framework is absolutely brilliant. And I've just added more into this as well, and I'll be able to give you this again, and I'll have the link for this. And if you've downloaded session 1, you would have seen that as well in reference to this. So the 5 prompting framework: firstly, setting the scene, assign a role. You're telling AI who is in this conversation. You can see on here, act as an experienced HR director. It might be act as an SLT as well. Teaching and learning. It might be act as a CEO. Depends on what scene you're trying to set at this point. Think about the situation, be specific in the instructions. You have to have the context and backgrounds for this. What type of organization are you? Simplify your language. State the exact task with precision. You can see this is another example. And then you're thinking about the style, the structure, the output. You've got to define the tone, format, and length. How do you want them to respond in bullet points, executive tone, no jargon? If it's for the board as well, how do you want that response to be? Think about the audience that you've got there. And then this is the last one to score this. This is very interesting. Share feedback, what needs to be changed. Ask AI to rate its own confidence and flag assumptions. So you're asking AI, rate your confidence. How do you rate what the output has been? What gaps do you see in my brief? So that's just showing you an example. And this one here, I think, is really important because you're getting them to check through their work itself that they've given you. Okay. Any questions at this point? Andy, you're going to have to look at the questions while I've got my screen on, please. So let's have a look at this. This is the novice versus advanced prompting, okay? Both uses AI, but one uses it more strategically than the other. So generate a list of evidence-based strategies to address the problem of low staff engagement. You haven't given it a role, okay? You haven't said who you are, what type of staff you've got, if it's teaching staff, what type of organisation it is as well. You haven't defined what good looks like as well. Output the best generic best practice list as well. There's nothing there. And you can actually find this probably in Google itself. So you're thinking about that. If you were to then use AI as a tool more efficiently and having some context using this, ask me questions one at a time to help me think through the staff engagement issue in the attached document. Your task is to help me identify potential organisational impact and realistic implementation strategies, not generic one. Can you see what happens? You've actually given AI a role. It's not going to give you just an answer. Socratic questioning surfaces your own insight. So you're thinking about this, you want it to question you as well. And you've got the context there. You can see on here what happens. It's cognitive leverage in action that you can see that's happening. So I'm just going to just leave that for a minute. I'll have a sip of my drink. I just want you to think about that, the difference. Where do you think you are? Are you novice or are you advanced? If you can just comment in the chat, that'd be great.
I think me personally, obviously my role with dementia education, I started off with the novice prompt.
Yeah.
But if the answers became so vague that then you had to be more precise. So it's a bit like planning a route, isn't it? The words you use plan the route to get to the outcome that you want. And the more precise you are, the better the outcome. But I don't know what other people's feelings are on that.
Okay, and please add into the chat what your feelings are. Okay, so let's have a look here. The myth, a good prompt is a long prompt. No, that's a myth. That is a myth. More words, better output. No, it's what you actually put into the prompt. What are you writing within the prompt itself? So you need to think about this. It can be brief, but you've actually thought about the structure and the 5 S's. Each element that you've added into this has an actual purpose. So a well-structured 3-sentence prompt with role, context and expectation, that's going to outperform a rambling paragraph. So where do you currently sit today? Now, I'd like you to actually add in the chat where you currently sit at this point. I'm going to leave this up here. Your target today is to get to the challenger, and we're going to get there. Give you a couple of minutes to think about that. Novice, okay. 2, okay. Anyone at a 4? Requester, okay, brilliant. Right, so we're going to have a look at what the outcomes are. I'm going to show you this on ChatGPT. You can open up whatever AI tool you're using, whether it be Gemini, whether it be ChatGPT, whether it be Claude, whatever you're using. I want you to have a go at this as well, okay? And we're going to be doing some more here. So you can see at the moment it says, what are the risks of restructuring? So if I go on to ChatGPT, you can see what it's got here. What are the risks of restructuring? I haven't given it any context at all. You can see what happens on here as well. It gives me a list of people and cultural risks, operational risks, financial risks, strategic risks. It hasn't given me anything else though. So I'm now going to try and give it more context. So I'm going to go back to this. And I'm just going to copy and paste the other prompt into it now. This is level 2. So we've got more context. We are 400-person education trust considering restructuring our central services. What are the key risks I should consider before presenting it to the board? So you're giving it the target audience, you're giving some context around here, you're being specific. Not enough though. Let's see what it comes up with. And can you see what it's done? It's given you the risks the board should consider. So it's acting as that thinking partner. What the risk could be and what the board is then going to consider again. The high risk. Then it's spoken about staff morale and cultural risk. Operational continuity risks. And the list goes on. Now I'm going to delve deeper into this. And I'm just going to show you here. This is the challenger. And on here, I'm asking AI to act as a risk consultant. Ask me questions one at a time to surface the key risks in our proposed restructure. When you have enough context, provide a structured risk assessment with likelihood and impact ratings. So now it's asking me questions. I'm going to put in school improvement alignment. So I'm having a conversation and thinking out loud here. And it's asking me more questions. So you can see the difference from that. Andy, is there anything that you'd like to add to that? Because I know I gave you some homework.
No, actually, Jennifer, it's just the way my mind's thinking now. It's the way that you're having this conversation where you're not actually taking it as 100% truth what AI is providing, but you're having this, you're prompting it then to follow up things, aren't you? It's like having your own little team working for you, isn't it?
Yes, yes, definitely. And this is when you start having your AI agents as well.
One question, sorry to interrupt you, Jennifer. I noticed on one of those prompts, especially the first prompt that you put in, right at the very bottom of the more or less the answer, it had certain things. Is that because AI looks at it and goes, there doesn't seem to be enough information here. Do you want me to delve deeper? Is that why it puts those like 3 different things, little arrows at the bottom, because it's realizing the prompt was too vague?
Yes, so it's asking you for more because you're not getting that with the other prompts as well.
Yes.
So it's giving you options to try and make you think exactly what you want. So it's prompting you to prompt more as well.
Yeah.
Prompt further with that. So, let's go back now. Right. So we spoke about Yoda last time, and if we think about this, she went from overwhelmed to strategic clarity as well, and this is all done through AI as well. She didn't use AI to automate her tasks. She used it as a thinking partner. She only checked in with AI daily at the beginning of her day. That's it. And then she updated AI. She was using a free version. She didn't need nothing else, but it's allowed her to have that clarity. And also, she's able to create workshops and given her time to even clean her house because AI would help her to do that and make sure that she was being looked after. So this is what her prompting actually looked like. Before, help me with my business, vague, no context, generic output. And then she gave it prompting. She explained to AI exactly what she wanted it to do. You can see on here, she gave it that context. She explained how she was feeling. And she also told AI she doesn't like AI as well. She doesn't like technology. And you can see it. What the 3 points that came out of it. She used it as a thinking partner, not as a task automator. AI slowed her down strategically while accelerating her clarity. And what she said to me is, I no longer think alone. That's the executive advantage. And it's helped her. It's helped her now to move away from her business and expand it further as well. It's given her that clarity for planning. So what I want you to do now, it's your turn now. You've got your hands-on activity to do here. What I want you to do is choose your scenario. So you've got your participant handout. Let me just share this now. I've given you that. I want you to think about your scenario as well. What does that look like for you? What would you want AI to do? What's your biggest problem that you got? What's your burning problem? What's your top priority at this point? And then I want you to think about what the prompt's going to look like. So if you write it out first, and then think about what it's going to look like. And these are your prompts here: role, act as, situation, specific, style, score, rate your confidence. So I'd like you to write that out now. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes in order to do that now.
I am doing it, Jennifer, because you'll only ask me a question on it.
Yeah. Another 3 minutes. I know some people have to jump off, so I'm just going to add the forms for the feedback as well. If they do have to leave. Okay, can I ask now if there's anyone that'd like to share their prompt that they've created? So Ken, when you've added the pupils in a school, have you put in how many pupils, what type of school it is as well, what type of activities, maybe their needs as well?
I'm actually finding that form that you filled in is actually really helpful on going through the different steps. And I don't know what other people, other colleagues on this discussion are finding, but it's actually helping me think a lot more, just planning it out.
And you need that thinking time as well. Sometimes it's better just to print it out or write it down so you have that thinking time rather than on the computer. So it also, if you've done prompt 2, you can have a go at actually undertaking prompt 3, Socratic version as well. So you're actually thinking about how you want AI to be that advisor. And I would advise, Liam, can you take the participants' cameras off, please, and let them unmute themselves if needed?
Yeah.
We're a 2-form inner London primary school facing forward. Can you suggest a marketing? Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, to reach out to parents. Can you actually put in add in how much it's actually having the falling roles as well? What area it's in? Maybe the demographics. And you want them to act as a marketing advisor for strategic planning for you. That'll be the role for Jared.
Yeah, everyone's microphones and cameras are enabled if they'd like to join in now.
Brilliant.
We're actually creating this great workspace here, Jennifer, because I'm just like looking at what Ken's put in and what Jared's put in. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's what we could do to change that one. And I'm just thinking, oh, that could make this bit better, or I haven't thought about that. So just by looking at the meeting chat is just helping me think.
It's good. I mean, Jared, what you've put in here as well with being falling roles, that's something that many executives are going to be facing at this point. Trying to reach parents of 4 to 5. Can you access 5? Okay. Wandsworth. Can you access it? What do you want, Jared? What do you want to them to act as the advisor? Okay, for the falling roles. So it'll be it's a business consultant that you're going to ask them to be acting as more than anything else. Andy, I don't know what you would like to advise as well on that, because I think business consultant is what you're going to need at this point. So you're giving it context of the area, which is great. Business consultant, marketing advisor. Yeah, brilliant.
Jared might also think about not just about parents, but developing, I suppose, as a school, raising the profile of the school. So it's
Social
marketing the
media.
school. Yeah. So those type of things, as well as just reaching the actual parents. But
then it's also having a social media campaign as well, how that's going to work throughout the year, what that social media campaign is going to look like as a calendar throughout the year as well, and who's going to be doing that, because then it's also finding the right person to do that, which can be challenging.
so just by putting in the prompt then, Jennifer, and then reading your own prompt, it's making you think and then encouraging you to develop and refine and explore to get the outcome that you want. So it's not just about putting one prompt in and go, that's an answer. It's then about, like you did, about modifying that prompt, making it more sophisticated, not necessarily more lengthy and wordy. Less is more, so putting the right words in to get the right outcome.
Definitely. Jared, you wanted to say something? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's moving on, isn't it? That is what you're making me think today about moving from that requester prompt even to analyst. Is just can you suggest things that I haven't done? Can you look at what I've already done in terms of marketing, social media? What more could I be doing? So those are the sort of next stage that I'm starting to think about using chat for. Please suggest to me or question me about my strategy or about my existing ideas and whether you think they have value. So for me, it's about getting my AI tool to question me, I think, about what I'm already doing and whether it's more value better ways of doing it, I suppose.
Yes, so you're getting them to act as an advisor. And the other thing that you can do is also get AI to rate the work and the output that it's actually given you, which for me, it can feel a bit daunting. But however, it's a good way if you start doing it and you can see, okay, this is a good way that you can actually see, okay, is it actually right what they're telling me? Is AI actually, they're marking their own homework at this point.
Yeah, I suppose I want to ask questions. Is this idea cost effective in terms of
Yeah.
how much it would generate, that sort of thing. So yeah, thank you.
No, you're welcome. Anyone else, Carmen? I know that you've got your camera on. What prompt have you decided to use? Would you like to share that with the group?
I think you've got a lot of people thinking here, Jennifer.
That's fine. That's what it's about. And the other thing that you can also do is make sure that you're asking AI as well, to ask the questions one at a time. That's really important. So you don't feel overwhelmed by this. So by now you should have actually completed prompt 3 to rewrite your prompt to invite AI to question you rather than answer you as well. So you're giving AI a role. I'm going to give you another 5 minutes at this point. If anyone wants to add into the chat, please feel free to do so. If you want to come onto camera or if you've got a question, any feedback, that'd be wonderful.
It's the bit I'm personally finding the most challenging, that bit, or to actually question, to put the right wording in for it to
Yeah.
question. That's now making me think. The first bit, the analyze, who I am, the key block, those type of thing, bullet points, that's straightforward. The questioning bit, that's the bit that I think I personally need to work on. I don't know what other people feel.
I think that makes you more strategic when you're questioning yourself because you're having a different 360 view of what you want as well. It's not operational.
I think I regularly question myself. It's just questioning myself in AI that's the issue here, Jennifer.
Would anyone else like to share their prompts? That'd be really useful if you could do. And also just share them with the group because they could probably use it'll get them to think about, okay, what prompt they could use in their everyday work and what they haven't thought about. And it's just a different perspective at this point. Okay, another 5 minutes.
I don't know if anyone else is finding this, Jennifer, but I was okay doing the first bit. But when it starts coming on that Socratic version, I'm trying to put things in, but AI is coming back to me about saying, needs more information, needs more precise on this. It's really making me think. My brain is a bit overloaded here on this one. I'm thinking, whoa, is it just asking me about, because I said about bringing about change in a school, that was my prompt. But then it's asking me like, what change? It's asking me who's the change going to affect. It's asking me this before I can even do the questions. So I say I don't know what other people's feelings are on this, or whether they're having the same issues that I am about making sure I can think at these questions. While people are doing this, how long has it taken you to be on this journey, Jennifer? I think you might be on mute.
A long time. It has taken me a long time on this journey because it's a trial and error more than anything else. And it's also thinking about, okay, how do you want AI to act depending on the scenario and what you're doing? So you have to refine the prompt constantly.
So you've been on this journey as well, from just the basic prompts all the way through. So it's taken you a while. So roughly, because obviously we've got different people on this call at different stages. Some have just more come across AI and started it. Others are now refining that bit. So from when you first came across AI to now, how long's that been?
I would think it's about 4 years at this point.
Exactly. So many of us haven't been on that
Yeah.
journey for that long. So I don't wish people to think that they're going to get this overnight, but it's just making them think, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just a different way of approaching this. I'm going to ask a couple of questions as well. Gerard, yes, please go ahead.
Just going to add, Andy, I've been using AI for a little while now, but it's taking meetings like this and sessions like this for me to think about what else it can do. Because I can get it to write reports, and I can get it to write references and all that thing quite well now. I know what I want out of it, but to make it critical of what I've done is another step, isn't it? To say this is my development priority number one. What do you consider its faults? What could be improved? What are it's that bit there. I think it's the next stage that I'm not anxious about, but I'm not at that point yet. But I can see on the back of what Jennifer's saying, that moves it on a little bit, doesn't it? Rather than just write me a reference for a colleague, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and this is what I'd like to know as well. I've just put a question: is what shifted when you assigned AI a role? If you could write your comments, that'd be wonderful in the chat. And where do you feel that the Socratic approach felt more valuable? If you can also let me know where you thought it felt more valuable. To issue, yeah, definitely. That's great feedback there. Okay. So I'm going to move on now. So I've asked you a few questions. What shifted when you assigned AI a role? And I can see that you can see the value in assigning AI a role. And I know with you, Andy, you spoke about it's actually changed the way that you're thinking about this, which is great. It's actually digging, as you said, Ken, as well, digging further questions as well. And you think about when you will use the Socrative approach as well, because you don't always want to use it. Where is it going to be most valuable? The marketing strategist, business consultant, falling roles is an excellent example of this. And what concerns came up? Accuracy, over-reliance, governance as well. And think about where in your organisation's decision making could this be applied immediately? If you're having a board meeting, you actually wanted to have a 360, you wanted to be a board advisor, what questions would they be asking for? It might be a restructure plan, it might be a new hire plan as well that you've got, it might be a new curriculum, it might be a new plan that you've got for your business. So these are different points that you can think about and how you're going to use this. And then executive reflection. What is the most valuable thing AI could help you think through that you are not currently using it for? It might be planning. It might be being a party planner. It might be actually setting out what your week is going to look like because you've got different plates that you're spinning. How are you going to be able to do that and manage your day-to-day life at home? What would change if your leadership team prompted at level 4 instead of level 1? And thinking about that, think about the professional judgment. It shouldn't change. AI shouldn't be replacing professional judgment. It should act as an advisor, as your companion, but not replacing your leadership team. And what governance guardrail does your organisation need to put in place before scaling AI-assisted decision making? So think about your CPD that you've got in the organisation. Is there any prompting CPD? Or is it, okay, AI is going to be the answer? Because it's not going to be the answer as well. There should be CPD within the organisation. It should actually take you through the different levels. You should have a working party. You should have AI policies in place for this. And if you need any help doing that or you need some advice, don't hesitate to get in contact with me. So going back to human first thinking, AI again is your thinking companion. It can't replace it. The judgment is with you. Sometimes you can use AI and it starts making you question your judgment as well. Oh, AI said that. But where's AI information coming from? Governance precedes adoption as well. Decide on what it can and cannot be used for as well. As I said, it should not replace professional judgment. Your policy needs to be in place for this. Culture is set from the top. How is your leadership using AI as well? And then start slow to go fast. As Andy said, I've been doing it for 4 years plus. Yoda's lesson, Going back to my friend the acupuncturist, AI slowed her down strategically while accelerating clarity. She only used it once a day. Depth over speed. Key takeaways. You've got the framework, the 5S prompt structure to give you repeatable approach. I will share that again afterwards. You've got the precision, clarity beats length. Remember, we don't need a long waffle of a prompt itself. It could be 3 lines that are structured. Partnership, Socratic prompt as well, asking AI to question you as well. Might be uncomfortable at first. Think out loud when you're writing it down. Leadership, human judgment, governance, and culture determine whether AI creates strategic value or just noise. So you've got an implementation plan. Again, I'll leave you with this. Day 1, run the same prompt you wrote today. Use that 5S framework and compare the output to what you got beforehand. This week, replace those 3 transactional prompts with a Socratic prompt in your daily workflow. And then you've got up to day 15 as well, week 2. Teach the 5S framework to one colleague or team. Introduce it. Introduce the learning. Introduce what other people were talking about and how they're going to use AI within the session. And then at the end of the month, identify one strategic decision in the next term quarter, but depending on how your organisation works. It might work in terms, it might work in quarters as well, that use AI to stress test before presenting it. And you would have written down your day 1 prompt now, I hope. And going back to what I said before, AI will not replace leaders, but leaders who think with AI will shape the future differently. Thank you very much, everyone.
Oh, thank you very much, Jennifer. Obviously the first session inspired a lot of people, and this session has also made me think. I suppose it's about taking things to the next level regarding AI.
Yes.
So that's really nice. Obviously, today you have the opportunity to present and share your feelings, but Deventure Education was willing to host and share this with you. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to share a couple of slides on their behalf about Deventure Education, the home of school IP.
Thank you. And can I just add? I've just added a feedback form as well. If you want more of the sessions, please fill out the feedback form as well. And Liam and Andy, I'm sure, would want to host another session.
No, that's fine. So obviously, Deventure Education is the home of school IP. School IP is a school improvement platform. It unifies all the aspects of school improvement, including appraisal, CPD, observation, and QA. It's very visible. Obviously, what Jennifer was presenting today is visible and getting outcomes exactly the same with school IP. And the whole point is about reducing workload. And as we move forward, we offer as a solution unlimited support and training to help you use the system. It's bespoke to your setting, so it's created and we align with your processes. We're trusted in education for over 20 years, and we actually understand schools. And to find out more, if you'd like to just scan this code here or get in contact with Liam. Liam will be following this up with emails anyway to find out more about school IP. And to follow on your session, Jennifer, I think in a couple of weeks' time, if Liam might be able to help me here, we've actually got someone else presenting about AI, but from a student perspective as well. So it's somebody that's trying to do some work on the impact, because that's one thing that scares people about, should students be allowed to present information through AI? So I think in a couple of weeks' time, we've got someone presenting on that. So thank you very much, Jennifer. I don't know if you've got anything, Liam.
Yeah, I was just going to share the upcoming events that we've got. So next week, we've got Leading with AI, helping schools move from AI exploration to AI strategy. That's with Dr. Neelam Palmer. We've then got Diagnostic Days, which is one more focused on school IP and quality assurance measures through the platform. So if anyone is interested, that'll be a really good session. And then finally, the one that Andy mentioned heading into June, we've got AI students and the future of assessments. So I'll be sure to send over a link to the events page so you can check out the remainder of the sessions that we've got for this year. Obviously, there might be a part 3 to today's session as well, coming in towards the end of the academic year, once all of those details have been finalised. As always, I'll be sending around any documentation and a recording of today's clip tomorrow when everything's been processed. So keep an eye out for that email as well. But yeah, thank you very much for your time today. Thank you, Jennifer, for an excellent part 2. I think that's the 3rd webinar we've done together now, so hopefully we can get part 4 in the diary soon. And then thank you for those who have joined in with any questions and adding your thoughts to the conversation. We hope to see you at the next ones.